Hi. This is my first video, obviously going great so far. Don't really know how to start it, but that's okay, we're just gonna get into it. Basically, this video and this series, the whole thing, it's all gonna be about mental health and mental health disorders. I live with some myself. I live with bipolar disorder and anxiety, and though they're just two minor parts of the whole thing, it's a lot. And so I just want to share with everyone that just because you live with mental health disorder doesn't make you different or make you someone that's not capable. And I want to show that everyone can relate and is similar, and other people do have these problems as well, and you are not alone. So basically, this video is going to be me telling my story and just how I relate to everyone and the way that I see things right now. And I just kind of want it to be a way for me to be open with you and hope that you will be open with me as well. And I want this to be a community, again, for everyone to be able to share and talk to each other and know that there is help for everyone and you are not alone. So I'm very nervous to be on the camera. Usually I'm filming other people and not myself, so it is a little weird, but bear with me, it's gonna happen, and here we go. I don't know where to start this video or what order it's gonna be in, but it's just kind of gonna happen. Basically, I'm just gonna tell my story and how I came to be to where I am today. So basically, just so everyone else knows, I'm diagnosed with bipolar disorder and anxiety. Though those are two just very small things on the whole, spectrum of everything, it's still a lot to live with, and there are, challenges, of course, in everyday life, and I want everyone to know that just because, you or I live with these things doesn't mean you can or cannot do something. You can do literally anything. It's just whether or not you put your mind to it. So basically, I'm just gonna start the story kind of at the beginning of everything. Obviously, I do have bipolar depression and anxiety, but how did it get there? You know what I mean? Like, there are events in our lives that cause these things for us further throughout our lives, if that makes any sense. So whatever, happened in your past is a part of what caused the anxiety, the depression, in the present. So basically, let's just get into it, and here's my story. My name is Foster. I was born and raised in Arizona, the hottest state you could ever live in. It's quite fun though. So when I was younger, well, no, let's start back from there. I grew up, I have my mom and my dad, and then I also have a brother. He is younger than me. So we all grew up in a great little house in Chandler, Arizona. Definitely the best house I've ever lived in, always loved it. And so when I was about, I think 9, maybe 10 now, I don't know. But around that age, my parents decided to get divorced. And of course, back then, when you're a young kid, you don't really understand it, and it kind of feels like the world is ending almost, but it's not, But at that age, it really seems like, oh my god, the world is ending. So that was a really dramatic event in my life, and like, my mom was a stay-at-home mom, so she would be at home, and we were homeschooled before we went to normal school. Before my parents got divorced, just not too long, maybe within the year before, we all went on a trip to Mexico. We have a condo down in Mexico, and very fun, awesome. Anyway, we were down there on a trip, and at one point, my parents asked me and my brother to come into the living room where we could just sit down and talk. And so I was like, okay. I was also 9 at the time. I was like, whatever. We go there and we're sitting down, and then all of a sudden, my dad and my mom are talking to me about my aunt. I didn't really understand at the time. My aunt is lesbian. I didn't know, what that meant then at that time. And the way that my parents were sitting down and describing it to us was that, my aunt was gay. And obviously at 9 years old, what does gay mean? I don't even know. My parents, they didn't really explain it very much, and so, I took it upon myself to know. I went to Google the smartest way, and you could only obviously imagine what would come up when you type in gay, just in general. But, the deeper that I continued to research it, or as I thought was researching then, just turned into me, looking at pornography and just delving even deeper and deeper and deeper into this hole that I was in. It's not that I was ashamed necessarily of doing that, it's just that I felt trapped in it because I didn't know anything else really. I was you know, kind of thrown into that at a young age. And literally from 9 years old on, I was looking at porn, and, you know, I had gone through many different psychologists and counselors and all these different people that really just weren't there to help me. It was more to, I guess you could call it, convert me. So what it was just basically saying that anything that's gay is bad, and you can only be with a girl or a woman, that kind of thing, and that is the only normal, and that's what you have to be. And in my head, being at a counselor at, you know, 10, 11, 12 years old, obviously you're gonna be like, wow, I need to change, like I'm doing something wrong. You feel victimized, and yeah, again, just like you're doing something wrong. So at the time, I didn't know that it was okay, and as well, my parents didn't know that either, and so they're very much the same way. And the whole way from me growing up, I'd always heard from my dad, well, you're gonna go to hell if you're gay. And it was a tactic to scare me to try and change the way that I was. But, you know, from 9 years old, when you learn something, that's just kind of how you grow up. And do I think circumstances made me the way I am? I don't know. I believe that everything happens for a reason, and though it may not have been the best circumstance at the age that I was, it still, you know, made me who I am today. And do I define as gay? Not necessarily. I know a lot of people will be like, well, you are. But I'm telling you, that's not what it is. The way I see it is I'm very open to anyone, and whoever comes at me is how I say it. And, you know, whether you're a guy or a girl, if we're interested in each other, then so be it. Personally, I'm not really into dating anyone just in general right now, or in the near future that I can see. I'm not worried about it, just to get that out of the way. So that was a big part of what started the whole thing, was being introduced to what gay was and not knowing how to go about it, and going straight to Google to look up images and videos. From there on, it just spiraled down. Eventually, you know, I got tired of the pictures and the videos, and I wanted real people, the real thing. I went on to Craigslist, of all places. Wonderful. What I did there was post an ad on Craigslist. I don't remember what it said or what it was, but basically just looking for someone. At this time, I was 14. Most people on Craigslist are like 50 and up and really creepy. Obviously, I didn't really know at that time. I was just like, whatever. So anyway, it's 3 a.m. I'm 14 years old and I'm on Craigslist. I was messaging with this one man. He knew how old I was. I told him that I was 14. I don't remember how old he was, but he was over 20. I gave him my address and told him to come over. Luckily, it did not work out. I, you know, freaked out and told him not to come over, not to do, you know, not to come into my house at all. The scary thing is he made it all the way to my house. That was when I absolutely freaked out, because I realized how real the situation was right then. And at that time, I didn't really realize, you know, what the age difference meant, that I was 14 and he was probably literally 28 or older, double my age. First of all, I was underage and he was much over age, knew what he was doing, and thank God I had that instinct to send him home, because otherwise I would have been statutorily raped that night. I don't even know what that night could have looked like, but thankfully it wasn't anything worse than it could have been. It was still a very big, scary part in my life, because I went to such dramatic measures to find people. From there on, it just continued like that, and I was just talking to people all over. It just went crazy. By then, you know, I've been into a counselor multiple times. That's not working. I absolutely hated the counselor. And I felt like the whole time all they were trying to do is just change who you are and not let you grow into the person that you're supposed to be. They just want you to be this certain way, and there's no other way about it. That's not how the world works. You can be whoever you want to be, whenever you want to be. Obviously, being the best version of you is the best thing to do. Something that I always am trying to strive for, and even by doing these videos is a part of that. I am extremely afraid of being on camera and filming myself, and especially talking about things like this on camera, which is going to be on YouTube for people to see. So it'll be definitely scary, but it'll be okay. And I know like over time I'll definitely get better. I'm not gonna be as afraid in front of a camera. I'll be definitely more used to it. As you can imagine, after that night, I call it the Craigslist night, it, you know, just got crazier and crazier. I was just talking to so many people. I just wanted to do something. I just felt like I needed to do the real thing to know, is this what I want? So I know like dealing with like addiction to porn is very common. I know it's probably not something crazy even to talk about. It is still a lot though. When you're such a young kid, it literally traps you. That's how I felt, was trapped inside of it, and that there was no way for me to break free or be who I truly wanted to be, rather than letting these pictures and videos lay out my life for me and show me, you know, this is what you're gonna do. It was almost as if I couldn't see anything other than that in my life. At one point, I don't really know what, honestly, but at one point I just kind of stopped and was done. Counseling did help a little bit with that part. Obviously the whole goal was to stop, and I did. I haven't been using that in a very, very long time. As of now, it's not really something that I enjoy. Pornography isn't really something I enjoy at all anymore. It's almost as if I'm like, what is the point of that? But back then, I was just so sucked into it, didn't know anything else. I literally just felt shamed about it my whole entire life. I've had to carry that around my whole life, which obviously caused some anxiety and depression inside of me. Though those things are heavy and maybe even seem little, they are and were really big in my life. Another big part of, you know, what caused all of my depression and anxiety is the relationship that I had with my dad. It was not very good. He definitely did not approve of me back then. He would always say, you know, you're gonna go to hell for being gay or being like this. I don't want you to go to hell, so you have to change, blah, 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 blah. Hearing that as a 12-year-old, your dad telling you that you're gonna go to hell isn't really the best thing that you wanna hear. Definitely not at all. That was definitely something that was a big thing in my heart. I didn't even know it for the longest time, actually, that was a big issue. But it was just what was normal then, was that, oh, well, I guess I'm going to hell. For the rest of my life, up until just about a year ago, did I believe that. Now I know that I'm not gonna be going to hell just for who I am. As long as I accept who I am, and I'm happy with who I am, that's what truly matters, because the way that other people look at you really doesn't matter at all. It's how you look at you, and are you happy with the person that you are? And are you living the life that you want to live? That's also part of why I'm making this video, because I'm not living the way that I want to live. I also want to be able to help people a lot. This video and these upcoming videos are all going to be going towards that goal. I'm going to be helping people as much as I can, and at the same time, I'm going to be getting helped by a lot of other people, learning from each other. I believe you can learn from any situation and anything that happens, whether it's good or bad. Think about it, it's just a situation in general. It just depends on how you look at it and what you learn from it. That really is just how life is as well. It really just depends on how you handle it and how you take it. You can take it in a negative way and make everything bad, or whether it is even a negative situation, somehow turn that into a positive and make it okay, and make it turn into the best situation that it can be. Because everything can be great. It's just up to us to make it that way. It's hard to see that way sometimes, I really know. But when you realize that you have power over your own thoughts, and literally what you think is what you create, it really is powerful to understand that. Though it's such a simple concept, it is very true. If you're thinking negative thoughts, or, oh, I don't want this to happen, or, oh, I hope that this doesn't, blah, blah, blah. Well, the more you think about it, the more chance that it's going to happen. So if you focus your thoughts on what you do want and the things that you aspire to be or want to be, don't let those negative thoughts tell you, oh, you can't do it, or no, that's not who you are, that's not where you're gonna be. Don't listen to that. Keep in your minds just exactly what you want, and just remember that. Always be thinking about it, and don't hope for it. Don't say, oh, well, you know, I hope eventually I'll be making a lot of money, or, oh, I hope eventually I'll be famous. Anything, literally. As long as you keep that in your mind, just say, I am wealthy, I am rich, I am famous, I am a professional swimmer, I am a whatever. Keep that in your mind and live as if you are already receiving what you want. When you live that way, life around you will literally work itself out to give you what it is you want. You just have to be focused on it and not let anything take you down. Those are really hard things to do, but when you really, really, really are focused on what you want, it's going to happen. Like this video. I have been scared to make it. I'm scared at the moment making it, but I'm making it happen. And I'm not afraid to make it happen. Well, okay, yeah, I am. I'm doing it. That's the whole point. It's proving something to me, and I hope to other people as well, that you can do anything, and though it's just a video, I am going to make this channel go very far and do big things. I'm very excited about it, nervous about it, and don't know what's going to happen. Well, I guess I do know what is going to happen. I just don't know how it's going to happen. Not something that I'm okay with. I want this channel to grow however it will grow, see the people that it will see, and I hope to build a really good connection with everyone that is following me and talking with me, and I want to be right there with you. Just know that I'm here to talk to as well. You can literally always message me. I'll leave my Instagram, my Snapchat. Basically just know that I'm here for you, and I hope that you're there for me as well. But always feel free to talk to me, and don't be worried about being judged, because that's just something that I don't care to do at all. Yes, we all do judge people, but I like to judge people after you've met them and based on their actions and how they act to things, not just the way that they look or the way that they talk. I want this to be a community where everyone is able to talk to each other and feel open and safe. Know that it will be okay, whether the situation in your life seems so right now or not, it will work out. Just keep what you want focused in your head, and always just meditate on that every day, all day. Do whatever it takes to do what you need to be where you want and what you want, and you will get it. I promise you, your life will literally be so much better. Just the past week, I've really been focusing on what I do truly want, and just focusing on those thoughts and keeping my positive thoughts. I've noticed that I've been very much happier this week. My mood has been lifted, and I've just felt good. And when you're feeling good, good things will happen to you. If you're feeling bad, you're gonna have negative thoughts and bad thoughts, and guess what? Bad things are gonna happen to you. Just keep focused on those positive thoughts and what you do want in your life. Even if you don't know what you want in life, it doesn't have to be an exact, okay, well, this is exactly what I want. If you want money, I am wealthy. Just write it down on a piece of paper and read it to yourself over and over and over. You don't have to know how it's going to happen or why it's going to happen or anything, really. You just need to know that that is what you want, and that you're gonna put your whole heart and mind towards it. If that's truly what you want and you believe it in yourself, then it will happen. It's just cool to see. Anyway, in the next videos, I'm going to have some guests on with me, some of my friends that are struggling with the same things as well. Not necessarily the same, mental health disorders that I have. They could be different or similar. Kind of see, how is their life along with mine, and how are we going about things, how we're going to make a change and help other people by helping ourselves as well. That is the most important thing as well, is make sure that you're always helping yourself. You can't give all of yourself out and then at the end of the day be left with nothing for yourself, because you've left even more drained than you were before. Through these series, we're going to just dig deeper and deeper into mental health disorders, what they are, how they're caused, and how to help live with them and achieve the things that you do want to achieve, because literally anything is possible. That's the cool thing when you realize it. It really is. I hope you guys enjoyed and could bear with this video, but this is the end of the first video. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please subscribe and like it. Follow along on this journey. Thank you.